So, um, I know the circumstances. I mean, you just saw the last video. I was venting a little bit, but actually, just listening to that, definitely, I'm surprised to myself that I'm still able to express what's happening as much as I'm being manipulated. To only understand what's happening in my brain is just unbelievable. But like I said, perps around me are supposed to make me subscribe to these nasty things. They've been doing these pedophile things. 2 seconds ago, not 2 seconds, let me say it, maybe 15 minutes ago, they made me think of a coworker of mine, and they made me think of his children that I never seen, and gave me some disturbing stimulation. This coworker of mine is a black man, so the children will be black, right? I imagine, because he's black, right? Never seen those children. They start making me imagine these black little girls, and then start giving me sexual stimulation, some disturbing stimulation of kids that they make me imagine. Nothing even, I haven't seen them. So just to say that this is how nasty it gets, right? So only imagine if I saw those kids, what they would do. These people are disgusting. But then they try to make you accept these things that is obvious. Even me saying that out loud shows that these people have been manipulating people in these disgusting ways. Now, shortly, you're going to listen to the obvious testimonials that I've talked about many, many times. Those testimonials are just summarizes it's a summary of what I'm going through when it comes to these disturbing manipulations. But with me, they then try to find ways to make me subscribe to it. It's like that. What we're doing right now is we just resurfacing, as one would say, the feelings that you felt when you were a kid, and now as a 30-year-old man, these feelings are just being resurfaced from you as a child. Now, listen to how illogical that sounds on its own. First of all, imagine me saying that to an adult person. It's like, oh, you remember those, whatever when you were like 13 years old, 14 years old, even younger, 9 years old, 10 years old? Or we were surfacing that as a 37, 38-year-old. We were serving your feelings as early teenager, preteen, 8, 7, 9 years old, as you as a 38-year-old. We were resurfacing that. Huh? You understand? Now you understand that there's, on its own, this is when they want me to be like this is the logic they're selling right now. This is the logic of what they try to make me understand right now. This is what this is the selling points. Do you understand how illogical it is? But as a target individual, you have to deal with people who really think that this even makes sense. But let me just say that this is not even true. They make me feel these feelings, then make me feel those in my memories as me as a child, and try to make me feel like something I experienced when I was a kid. They have control of your memories. They have me. There's times at night what they do is so disgusting, because they make me have dreams. In those dreams, they made me once dream about something that never ever even happened. But I swear, I really thought it happened. It felt like it was something I actually felt. A completely non-existent event was felt as in my memory that I never felt before. So they can literally change your memories and get you to feel feelings that you weren't feeling, but implementing it in your memories as a child. And you're like, oh, you felt like that, right? You don't even remember feeling this, and make you feel like this when you were a child. So now with black little girls, they try to make me feel, oh, that's how you used to feel when you were a kid. What? First of all, on its own, this is just kind of illogical. What, as a kid? I'm in my 30s. No, but does it not feel familiar? Does it not match with what you felt when you were a kid? Mind you, they manipulate your memories so they can make it feel like you felt that like that as a kid. But at the same time, you're saying that you saw me feeling like this when I was a child. And to them, it's just like, oh, there is, you see, that's proof. Now, you understand these people do the pedophilia type of torture, but to even understand that, let's just say that this is something that they just try to study. Would it make sense if I'm talking to somebody who's in his 30s? It's like, oh no, when you were like just turning 14 years old. Oh no, they go much younger. Matter of fact, where they really try to create this thing is even younger. Oh, when you were like 10 years old. Right now, you understand these people are just meant to push you to insanity, because that on its own is insanity. That on its own is just almost illogical. You're resurfacing feelings that I experienced when I was a kid. In my 30s. Now, you understand that they're trying to make you subscribe to these pedophilia things. It's just damn near retarded. I'm sorry to use that word. That's the best word that can describe this level of trying to make somebody think that's logical. Imagine you're in your 30s. Matter of fact, you're in your 30s, you even have kids. You might even have kids the same age that say that. You see your kids right there? You see that 14-year-old? You see that 13-year-old? Yeah. You see that 13? You see that 10-year-old? Yeah, you, the father, we resurfaced your thoughts when you were that age. And so it makes sense. Now, I know they do this to break me down. Obviously it's nonsensical. It's damn near illogical. But it's because they do the pedophilia type of torture, and they want it to make it seem like somehow I should subscribe to that. Matter of fact, they don't even. It's not something that they match to. It's something they manipulate me as to think when I was a kid, like to implant that in my memories. Which, of course, I'm not gonna remember everything when I'm like that young. So when they do these illogical things, which they want to have a battle about, you gotta understand these people are just that illogical. You want me to have battles about this illogicalness? That's how I felt like when I was a child. Me in my 30s. And then they talk about, okay, what you did as a kid. There's some stupid things I did. I never had these feelings that you make me experience, but I did something stupid as a child, right? And this is why they try to bring that back as me as a kid, to create a pattern. There's no pattern. It's just a stupid thing a child did as a kid who just turned 14 years old. And this is why they try to say, no, we just resurfaced it. What? It's like, no, battle this. I'm 30 some. I'm in my late 30s almost. Now I'm in my mid 30s, and you tell me that I should accept this disturbing stimulation I'm forced to experience now, and you're saying that you matched it to me when I was just turning 14 years old, or even younger. Matter of fact, they say that they matched it with me younger. Obviously, that is nonsensical. Obviously, they do these things where they force you to experience. Now you're going to listen to the testimonials of this person, Mariana, who says that they use this disturbing pedophilia type of tormenting to break her down. She smells baby powder, and they make her have this pedophilia experience. It doesn't end there. You hear this trans woman, Jackie, who says that she's being forced to think in this pedophilia ways. It doesn't end there. Surveying a bunch of target individuals said that they are forced to see child pornography in their mind. Now, that doesn't end there. There's a woman in Florida who says that they've been doing this program perversion where they aimed it toward children. It doesn't end there. When I was discovering target individual, one petition calling out the symptoms was remote pedophilia. So, you understand that these people have been doing this pedophilia type of tormenting, these patterns of towards this type of tormenting. So what they do is, with me, they somehow want me to forget that they do this pedophilia type of torture and think that they just resurfaced how I was feeling when I was a kid. So now when I look at children, oh no, we resurface how you would feel when you were a child. And then they try to find a way to show how the intellectual they are. That they're just studying me, right? And they would say a word. I have sometimes issues saying certain words, right? I have a bit of an accent, and some words are harder for me to say, right? They say this word, which is, for me to say it, is a little bit complicated. And then they like, you see, like show their intellects. We knew that you couldn't say that. It was like, of course, I know that you know me. This is how you're able to manipulate me. And when I say you know me, I mean the program. These people themselves are not perhaps the most sophisticated people, but they're people who are employed, contracted to do this manipulation toward people. So now, they want me to look at it. It's like, no, we just researched it. No, you've been analyzing on how you can manipulate me to experience disgusting, disturbing pedophilia things. Trying to even utilize me as a child, find ways to manipulate my memories in my childhood to then do these things to me today, and then say, oh no, but you remember, does it not feel similar to what you felt when you were like 10 years old? Now, of course, I know that they know. That everybody involved in this know that this is how they manipulate people. You cannot be a self-respected grown adult and be like, oh no, that makes sense. They resurfaced his feeling when he was a kid. No, they know they manipulate people in these nasty pedophilia ways. But by the way, when they try to get angry, because the stupid thing I did when I was a kid, that was just impulsive, childlike action, because I was a child. They then try to know that you pay for that moment, that stupid moment that a kid who just turned 14 years old did, right, in 8th grade. They know that these people are killing and torturing children. These grown people making noise campaign, these grown people contracted by these entities, torture children sexually using this weaponry. They know this. That's why they have to create this facade. Now we're different. We're this group of women who protect. No, this BS. This is a group of women, men of all ages, contracted by the government to implement this technology that destroy and break down even children, and try to force grown men and women to experience these disgusting things. What did they say to this one? Oh, that was you when you were a child. We matched it to you as a kid. What? One of these women who said they aim this program of provision toward children, she has children. She has multiple children. They were even doing this thing where in her dreams they force her to have some like sexual dreams to condition them, because that's the same thing with me. Daily, day in and day out, conditioned. Right now, I was making this video. A neighbor who's contracted by the government went in the hallways, made the noise campaign to try to box in a certain thought when I was talking about, what you did as a kid. This grown man knows that this program is using this pedophilia type of tormenting and torture children, and wants me to become to the point of damn near retardation to subscribe to these pedophilia things that they've done to people. With me, they're like, oh, but how do we know with black girls? What? It's because you can manipulate me. And then you try to talk about me as a kid. I was a black little boy. And I was a black little boy. And so you're going to make me imagine that's how you looked at black little girls. Because I was a black boy around black girls. You understand? And so they try to create these stimulations like that. And it's like, no, but it was you. We matched as a kid. You matched the feeling I'm feeling in my 30s right now because what you're doing to me, to how I was feeling when I was a child. Now, I understand. This is illogical. This is what these people are supposed to do. They are specializing in manipulating people in these disturbing pedophilia ways. They use childlike people. They use people who create this facade. That's what they do. This is what the government is contracting them to do. There is a person that talks to me 24/7. She's like a child. It sounds like a child. She sounds like almost like she's almost sound like she's on the spectrum. I don't think she's on the spectrum, but she makes herself sound like that. That's her job. They want me to think like this. And then once I put this together, once I say this out loud, they talk about how I'm going to be screaming because they're going to torture me. They try to disorient me, diverge. Oh, they're going to frame me. Exactly. Because they stimulate people in these nasty pedophilia ways, meaning they aim this stimulation towards children. Then they have people around you to try to gaslight you into accepting these manipulations. They are trying to make you identify with the manipulation they force you to experience 24/7. This is pure brainwashing tactics that have been implemented for decades. This comes from those documents of, you hear that about MK Ultra, where they were trying to modify people in different tactics, tormenting them, torturing them, to modify their behavior, to control their mind. This is in the 50s. Today, of course, is another level. Memories, manipulations were something they were working since the 50s. So today, they made me experience things that, like, I'm talking about a whole event that never happened. I felt like it's like, oh my gosh, this feels so real. It felt like a real memory. I made a video in 2020 depicting something that made me imagine as a memory that was completely non-existent. I mean, like, complete everything that. So can you imagine when it comes to sensations, feelings, how they can manipulate those into your memories? Like, it's nothing. You will feel it and you'll be like, oh my God. Matter of fact, now they're making me try to feel things, not even me as a kid anymore. It's me as an adult that I know is falsified, but it still feels like it happened that way. And so this is what I'm experiencing every day. And why am I making these videos? It's because they want me to subscribe to this. Black little girls, remember? That was you. Don't you feel? No, you make me feel this way. You're 100% making me feel this way. Some of it is so young that I'm like, they try to make me think that that's how I felt like when I was 10 years old. 11 years old. That's even younger, 9 years old. So what I expect from these bottom videos is to try to continuously make me subscribe to it. But I know there's going to be a theater of another level. Because they do this pedophilia type of torture. And it's been testified by many others. They're going to try to make me accept this as if it's me. They're going to make me feel like this is a feeling that I've felt before. But most importantly, they're going to try to torture me into accepting this. They are talking about framing me in different fashion. Here is some of the things they've said they're going to do to me to frame me. They said that they will implant child porn on my computer. That is one of the frame. Another frame they said is there's children here. They're being contracted too. Well, their parents are somehow involved in it. And anyways, these children are saying that we're going to say that you did something to our child. And this is going to be how we're going to frame them. How we're going to frame him. We're going to say that something. you, I did something to them, and they're gonna be framed. They're gonna be framing you by saying that you did something to our children. As I'm saying that, they try to bring up some just stupidity, but that's why they use these spectrum like individuals talking to me. They're gonna say that. They're gonna say that. They're gonna say that I did something to a child here, and this child's gonna lie and say that I did so. I don't know how. I don't know. But this is one of the things they said. Others have said that they have implanted things in my apartment. Now I know they have access to my apartment. Matter of fact, I locked myself out once, and saw how easy somebody came and helped opening the door. He used a little piece of like metal thing. In 2 seconds, opened it up. So I'm 100% sure they have full access of my apartment. They don't even need my keys, to be honest. But of course, they will easily have doubles on my keys. This is easy. This is. So they said they can implant, and they will implant drugs or things in my apartment that I don't, that, and then they'll come and search for it and find the things they implanted themselves. This is what they say. And to try to say, oh no, we to instead of saying that they manipulate people in this way, it's like, no, we mapped. Mind you, this is a program that is consistently improving in technology that manipulate the mind. This is the MK Ultra grand like decades and decades child that have been all along trying to manipulate people, to change them, to manipulate them, to make them believe, falsify realities, and that's what they do. And they use these perps. I've used, for me, my perps trying to present themselves as this like, no, but we're just trying to pick in your brain. It's like, no, you manipulate my brain. You figure out how you can manipulate my brain and change it into something else. That's what they call it, war. War is what we can do to change him to think that this thing is happening naturally. It's pure mind manipulation. And this black little girl BS is what they forced me to experience. So to all my target individual, know that this trash contracted by these entities, agencies filled with actual pedophiles. They actually have pedophilia problem there. There's no mapping needed. Okay, there's no they're this BS thing they're creating is there's actually pedos downloading child porn in the government devices. No need to implant anything in it in their computers. They're doing things to kids, 2-year-old, 6-year-old. Yes, this CIA agent and all. They are subscribing to pedophilia porn and stuff like that. No need to come up with fantasy. While they want you to be like them. Talking about, for me, talk about me as a kid, saying that what we experiencing now as a 30-some-year-old man is how we matched it to you as a child when they're renowned for their pedophilia type of torture. And you have neighbors that call you on nothing. You work for pedos. You are contracted, but entities filled with pedophiles. You've been humiliated in the sense that you wanted to present yourself as this. No, we're protecting our community. Why is there so many pedophiles in these intelligence agencies? Because those are your pedos, and you're trying to turn me into a pedophile. And you force this nasty manipulation and say we matched it and we proved it because it was you when you were a kid. We resurfaced it. While you're renowned for your pedophilia type of torture, as you're going to hear, of course, those testimonies that you heard before. To all my target individuals, do not subscribe to this.
literally just trying to keep myself alive to get me to the day when I can be free from this torture. Every day has been a miracle of survival. I also experience what is referred to as malodorance. This is the alteration of the smell sensation so that I am often made to smell various things, including smoke, burning, dirty diaper, or baby powder, which they sometimes combine with the pedophilia type of torture, including the threat of planted dreams.
It is dramatic. It's somebody trying to end my life. It's somebody trying to end who I am as a person. It's somebody trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophiles. Like, it's disgusting things. You saw where I was going with that first word. Disgusting things that I don't even want to talk about because it makes me sick. I don't even like those words in my mind. But it is what it is. So I have no choice now but to acknowledge that there are people in my surroundings or whatever they're doing. I don't know how they do it. I don't care.
More psychologically specialized for each target. Most common examples include homosexual targets that are forced with voices that are derogatory to their lifestyle and similar mental images. Almost all targets are forced to view child pornography in their minds. And vice versa.
Force vaginal discharges and zap my genitals at the same time. These sexual assaults are present throughout the day, every day, and anytime I am awakened at night, every night. They range from mild to extreme, but usually involve daily and nightly continuous assaults for the past 3 years now. When severe, the zaps to the genitals feel as though someone is electrocuting my genitals repeatedly. I also often see highly disturbing pornographic images and videos, including highly disturbing pedophilia type of images and videos when I close my eyes. It also includes video, and I began to experience what some call V2K, or voice to skull. This involves the projection of voices, noises, and music directly into my mind to communicate with me in real time and at the speed of thought. And it also includes the manipulation of thoughts, emotions, and perceptions in the person's mind, the kinds of torture that would later be done on me. For example, they would also sometimes make her bite her hand, threatening to make me bite my hands, as they often do. One day, she had a large, severe bite mark on her arm. She has also grabbed her crotch, saying, "Ow," and this was used to threaten me with severe sexual torture. One day, I also observed her gasping for air a few times in the same way that I do when I am being more severely suffocated. The suffocation had been in a mild state for a while up until this point. Many of their torture methods are cyclical in severity. Right after I saw this child being suffocated, then I began to experience very extreme suffocation all day, every day, for about 2 months straight, and that's also when they made it worse when I eat. Then I also work with a 4-year-old little girl with Down syndrome, as well as her 5-year-old sister, who also has Down syndrome. I observed both of these girls suddenly grabbing their genitals in pain and verbalizing, "Ow." I observed this at least on 1 or 2 occasions.
And into the intel community, you're put through polygraphs, you're put through a rigorous selection process. Why aren't these people weeded out? Why are so many pedophiles allowed to be given top-level security clearance? Remember, these aren't just people walking in off the street and saying, "Hey, can I get hired? Can I get a job?" You're put through an extremely rigorous background check screening process. It's called an SSBI, single scope background investigation. There are people, they interview you, they interview your family, they interview your contacts, they go through your online footprint, they go through everything. So why is it that when they're going through these footprints, they're not checking, these digital footprints, they're not checking for so many pedophiles getting through their ranks? If it were up to me, you need to go into Congress, and Congress needs to launch a brand new church committee, number 1, to talk about domestic surveillance operations, but number 2, to ask the question, why are there so many pedophiles sitting behind those computer screens within the walls of Langley, within the Pentagon, and throughout the broader intelligence community?
On one occasion, I was told I was going to be shot in the face. And it was an older guy. He was like really, really disgruntled and pissed off. "Yeah, just you're shot in the face." It sounded like an angry ass old person. Then a couple of days later, a female said the same thing. "Don't get shot in the face." Stupid shit like that. But what I really noticed is with the Voices Girl, it's a bunch of females, and I'm like, bro, really? You're not a woman. What real woman would stalk another female or sit back and allow that to go on? You really think they think it's nothing wrong with them?
Was with my dog. I am very playful with my pet, and suddenly one day that I was petting him I felt strange, in the sense of the word. I thought, this is strange, and then afterwards that strange sensation continued. Then in that moment I realized that was impost, so I thought, look at this losers, don't know how to put me down, and they are doing this. So I told them that I know what you are trying to do, and I started laughing, and then I said again out loud, you'll never take my will, ass. So just to show them that I meant what I said, I kept playing with my dog, and even though that attacks continue, I don't let them get me. Today they continue with the programming of perversion, but this time they are aiming in the use. A people, better said young people, also children and homosexuals. When I aggravated them I usually called demeaning names, and one of them a perversion. First was with my dog. I am very playful with my pet, and suddenly one day that I was petting him I felt strange, in the sense of the word. I thought, this is strange, and then afterwards that strange sensation continued. Then in that moment I realized that was impost, so I thought, look at this losers, don't know how to put me down, and they are doing this. So I told them that I know what you are trying to do, and I started laughing, and then I said again out loud, you'll never take my will, ass. So just to show them that I meant what I said, I kept playing with my dog, and even though that attacks continue, I don't let them get me. Today they continue with the programming of perversion, but this time they are aiming in the use. A people, better said young people, also children, and especially manipulation with my thoughts and imagination. With their equipment they can not only read my mind, but also implant any images, generate any stream of thoughts, and manipulate my emotions and behavior. Judging by what I have experienced since August 2003 until now, August 2007, the Secret Service of Lithuania has obtained and are using against the citizens state-of-the-art psychotronic weapons that can be used to manipulate and fabricate the processes in your psyche. From what I have experienced, they are able to impose any information on the brain of a person, presumably by some kind of waves, which in the mind take the form of voices, thoughts and images and imagination. In addition to this kind of implanting information that they need, they manipulate the psyche so that the information is written into your memory.